Hello there. I'm here today to talk to you about a local invasive species in British Columbia and something that you can do about it. This is a topic I'm really excited about, and I'm hoping to get you excited too. So Haida Gwaii is an island archipelago in northern British Columbia, 100 kilometers off the coast, and it's quite near the Alaska Panhandle. It's very separate. It's a big distance to the mainland, which means that the communities on Haida Gwaii are very distinct, very different than anything you find on the mainland. 100 years ago, Sitka black-tailed deer were introduced, and they've just been having this huge impact on the plants of Haida Gwaii, which did not evolve with them. They've just been eating everything and changing the ecosystem. So in this talk, I want to explore what we as humans can do, perhaps through hunting, to reduce the populations of Sitka black-tailed deer and perhaps restore the ecosystems of Haida Gwaii. So just like Sitka black-tailed deer weren't able to get to Haida Gwaii for 10,000 years and more before humans introduced them recently, their predators haven't been able to get to Haida Gwaii. So there are no cougars on Haida Gwaii, no wolves, no bears. Additionally, there are very mild winters, which means that the deer populations explode. There are 250,000 deer on Haida Gwaii and only 4,000 people. So that's 62 deer a person. Just outrageous. People have tried to push the deer off some small islands in the past, successfully, but because the deer can swim, it only takes a couple of years before a mating pair or a pregnant female gets back to an island, recolonizes it, and founds a population. Because of the big gap between Haida Gwaii and the mainland, not only are the mammals interesting, but the plant communities are incredible. It's very hard for plants to get over to Haida Gwaii, so amazing things have evolved, things that exist nowhere else in the world. But these things are at risk to being eaten by this huge deer population. So we can see what happens when you put up a fence to keep out the deer. This incredible rainforest explodes. This is what Haida Gwaii looked like before deer were introduced. But in the foreground, we see what most of Haida Gwaii looks like now. Biologists call it a green desert. So it's beautiful, but there's significantly less biodiversity, significantly less ecosystem happening there. People take this really seriously. So it's not only about the wildflowers and small plants. There are insects that rely on these wildflowers. There are birds that rely on these insects. There are mammals that rely on these birds. And when the deer eat out this understory, it has a cascading effect on all these plants. Additionally, the Haida First Nation, who have title to the land and do extensive stewardship of the land, have this wonderful interdependent relationship with the giant cedar trees. But the deer are going around and eating all the seedlings before they come up. So 100 years from now, without management, it's possible there would be no cedars. So this talk represents a call to the people of British Columbia to pick up your ancestral spear and do what the wolves do. Go out and be a predator. There's been a lot of research in recent decades showing the super important role that apex predators have on ecosystems. By suppressing large herbivores, they actually allow the whole ecosystem to function. They make for a much more diverse community. So we always have to ask with these kind of ideas, what does the evidence show? Has this been tested? Well, a big deer hunt was organized in 1997 where they pushed all the deer off. Well, they killed the deer off two small southern islands. They managed to get 90% of the deer, and from before to after in these areas, we saw that the plant community increased by, on average, 300% and as much as 1,100%. This phenomenal increase in plants. So hunting in BC is super easy. There's not a lot of barriers stopping you from doing it. You can take 15 deer a year on Haida Gwaii. Costs are cheap, and you can get firearm and hunting courses all over BC. Now, the last question I want to leave you with is an ethical question. Wherever we get our food from, it has an environmental impact, it has a social impact. There are ethical questions about it. And often the environmental consequences are negative. By taking our food from this place, we actually have a net benefit on this beautiful ecosystem. It is so rare to say that by living in this world, we can have a positive impact on our ecosystems, and that's why I think this is so important to share. So thank you so much for listening. I'm really happy to have shared this with you. I really hope you consider going out and exploring the idea of hunting on Haida Gwaii and also doing other interesting things with your life to promote ecology and promote our world for the better. Thank you very much. Have a great day.